What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dreaded Don here, back again delivering you guys some Fable info, man. First off, you're gonna have to pardon me. Your boy's a little congested. I've been sick all week, man. I've been sick. That snowstorm that hit, it got me. It got me too. Anyways, last week we had an Xbox developer direct. In it, man, we got some spicy info. One thing I really want to bring to you guys' attention is that we're getting a new Fable. Yes, if you've been waiting for a new Fable, we're getting it. We're getting it. In the developer direct, we got some information on who's developing this new Fable, when it's getting released, gameplay details, what to expect, what little additions that they're going to add to really spice up their game on their part and separate away from Lion Gate Studios. Just some goods, and I just want to talk about it. Anyways, my friends, let's hop on into it. So first off, my friends, it is being developed by Playground Games. They've been behind Forza Horizon for the past 16 years, so they have an experience with a little bit of some open world games. I mean, it was on the racing game genre, but they're trying to transition their skills. And I'm here for it. I'm willing to see what they have in store. One thing that they are really keeping in store is that they're going to keep everything iconic. They're still going to have the childhood backstory. They're going to keep Bowerstone City in the place of Albion. So a lot of the places that are going to be familiar to you when you played the first and second games or even the third games, they're still going to be very similar with the Playground Games keeping that moving forward. One of the things that I do find very interesting that they're planning on doing is they have this 1,000 NPC system that they want to implement, where each citizen is going to be handcrafted and designed to fit into this living population system that they're going to have. Now, this is where I got a little bit skeptical because, if you played Fable 1, Fable 2, just the Fable series, you're very used to the morale system, where if you do, evil actions, you kick a chicken, you murder citizens, you rob from your neighbors, or you start turning, a little bit more satanic, you get the devil horns, you get the evil appearance, people start calling you different names. And then if you go down a good route, you do more, you save people, you nurture the chickens, you're fostering orphans, stuff like that. You get the halo around your head. Most people are really remember that being a core part of the Fable series. And with them going on this living population route with 1,000 handcrafted NPC systems, they're going to go towards a reputation system where each citizen is going to remember different deeds that you've done. If the beggar caught you kicking chickens on the street after you evicted him, he's going to call you, a chicken kicker. If everyone knows that you sleep around the town, they're going to call you, the gigolo. You know what I mean? There's going to be different. If you own all the house, they're going to call you the rich tyrant, I think, or there's different tags that they have for you for different types of titles that you'll get based upon your reputation, and that reputation is only set in specific cities, right? So if you go over to the next town over, you can create an entire different reputation for yourself there. Again, I think this is a very interesting system. I really want to see how this plays out with the 1,000 NPCs, especially if they're all handcrafted and they're going to react to you in different ways. Because, again, if you're used to going back and just owning all the land or the houses in Bowerstone, then you remember, it was nice to be that rich landowner, but the fact that you're going to get a different title and people are going to react to you different might be an interesting play on how you go about with your story. Because for instance, there's one scenario that they bring up is that there's this guy named Dave who finds this growth hormone that ends up turning him into a giant, right? And his sister plays a really big part in that, and whether you end up killing him or you don't end up killing him, it affects not only his sister, but the citizens around the local village. If you kill him, the people who are around the local village, may lose their residence, and then because of that, they start to have a type of demeanor towards you and look down on you because you just took away their housing. Not only that, his sister's gonna hate you, but if you have him alive, then how does that affect the world as well, right? I want to see how the interactions between specific story-based NPCs play towards the ones in the reputation system. They did say that the reputation system wouldn't have a large part in, or not necessarily the reputation system. They said that the story wouldn't have a large effect on the reputation system, and I find that a little bit interesting. So say you do something where you kill a group of bandits, or you save a town from burning, or you do one of those major events in the story, are the citizens not going to look at you with a specific type of reputation because of what you've done in the story or what you didn't do in the story? I find that more compelling, especially in a Fable series. It's one of the things that you really enjoy is when your choices embody what happens in the world, and then it reflects, not necessarily embodies, but it reflects back on you when you can see that, right? With that being said, and them adding that little spice to the game of their own little flavor, I'm not mad at it. I do want to see how it turns out. again, because everything else, you know, the childhood story, whether we have the tragic background story, you got to improve and choose your path from that. The mini games that we're going to be able to get into with the blacksmithing, the marketing, you know, the having, you know, the wives owning the land. That's part of what we all really enjoyed about Fable, right? And if they add a little reputation system to a little spice up the flavor a little bit, it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt too much. Now, the combat that they were showing, it looked to me, it just looks like it's an improvement on what they had in 2 and 3, where it doesn't necessarily flow straight from strength into wisdom into finesse. I believe if the 3 different types, essentially just rogue, warrior, and mage, it doesn't flow just directly, but I feel like the Fable series really never had combat that was supposed to flow from you being able to use the warhammer into, you know, using a spell, or maybe you would summon the blades around you and then you would send out a fireball. You could do combos of the spells, but it wasn't supposed to flow directly into each one, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that pause of being like, okay, well, if I'm going to use the ground slam with a hammer, let me make sure I summon the blades around me, so that when I finish slamming, it kind of gives you some preparation in terms of how you want to have the combat. And I feel like that's what they really set out to improve in this next one. When I saw a lot of the combat, I was ecstatic to see that, you know, they still have the warhammer, they still have the blades that you can summon around yourself. I like seeing that a lot of the enemies, that when they attack each other, that they have enemy on enemy combat. So maybe you position yourself around a bandit barrel and he happens to shoot the barrel behind you, you dodge forward, explodes the barrel, and then because of the enemies who were in front of you, they explode from the barrel, they fall into their companions. You know what I mean? I like enemy collision like that. I like when games include that, because sometimes when you're fighting someone and the enemy hits, the swing just goes right through them. Hey man, I'm not a fan of that. Anyways, that was really cool. I also like that they were able to show that enemies are going to have weak points. That, you know, as a lot of people seen in the videos, that when she was shooting the bow, she's shooting at the chest plate, shoots at the ankle of the skeleton, pops the ankle out. Could just be an enemy type weakness, right? So she could be shooting at the plate mail on the skeleton, and she goes to shoot the bone, immediately pops the bone out. Now it could be like, you know, a difference there, but it is cool to see that the interaction is going to be in the game nonetheless. Another thing that they're going to be giving us is, you know, a little bit of a character customization. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's nothing really too in-depth. It's really just, you know, be able to choose your gender, choose, you know, skin color, choose a little bit of the hair, so a few facial features. Nothing you can really go in-depth and really design your character, but just something to get your hero started on the way. So in terms of a developer direct, you know, especially letting us know that we're getting a new Fable, I feel like they gave us a good bit of information. They really try to give us to drill the core of it, let us know that they're giving us that new 1,000 NPC system, new reputation system, but they also wanted to, you know, give us some warmth and some familiarity with the background of still having that childhood tragic background story that gets you started into the hero path, as well as placing us in Albion and keeping us familiar with Bowerstone City. Also letting you still live up to having that slice of life in the world with, you know, owning all the houses, or becoming a blacksmith with the mini games, or, you know, having the multiple, you know, children, or, you know, partners, whatever it is that you really enjoyed about Fable as much as you did. I feel like there's not much more that we can really ask for in terms of this developer direct, especially since we know that we're going to be getting the game later this autumn. You know, the fact that we're getting in Q3 this year, we don't gotta wait another 2-3 years for it. That's beautiful. It's beautiful work. Man, if you're currently playing the Fable 1, Fable 2, Fable 3, if you're excited for the new one, I'm thinking about going back and playing maybe some Fable 1, Fable 2, just because, man, maybe get a little hype, get a hypey going. If you're doing what I'm thinking about doing what I'm doing, let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And as always, my friends, sub so we can share some more info. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys on the horizon. Deuces.